The Canberra Raiders got the shock win on Saturday night against the Brisbane Broncos. And yeah, even I can't believe it. All that and more right here on the Milkman Podcast. Hello and welcome back to the Milkman Podcast. What a week it was. Or what a weekend, sorry, it was. I still can't believe it. We'll get into my tipping later and all the sort of stuff that I got wrong, but we'll also get into what I got right. But again, that's later on in the show. Right now, what I do want to talk about, what I do want to show is something I promised last week. 2019, let me paint the scene. 2019, how old was I in 2019? Should have done the maths beforehand. Can't be stuffed. You know what? Who cares? 2019. I'm 21 now, turning 22. So if you want to do the maths, you can. The prelim against the South Sydney Rabbitohs, and it all comes full circle because in the broadcast, Dan Green, said he hasn't seen a crowd like this since the 2009 prelim. And again, we'll get into the crowd and stuff like that later. But I'm stalling. I just don't want to show it because it's kind of embarrassing. So I did promise I'd show it. But yeah, this is that video. Have a listen.
We're in the granny. Come on, you Raiders. You little ripper.
So you can hear my mum laughing about it in the background. I don't know if she was watching the game or not, or I told her and she just started laughing. We were in the grand final. I was excited. I filmed everything I did back in those days. Not everything. When something good happened, and it'd be sports related, of course, I'd film my reaction to it. I'm glad I didn't show my face in that because I'm sure I would have looked very, very either A, chubby, or B, juvenile, or C, all of the above. So I'm glad I didn't flip the camera around on myself. If you're watching on YouTube, yeah, obviously you didn't miss much. If you're listening, you definitely didn't miss much. It was just the audio and the score and the boys getting up and about. So I just wanted to show that. I hate that video so much, but I did say I'd show it. I forgot how much I hated it. But yeah, let's get straight into the review. It was a great game. Obviously, we won 32-22 against the Brisbane Broncos, and huge win. People are calling it a very big surprise. A lot of people are retracting their wooden spoon predictions for the Canberra Raiders. About time. Shouldn't have been there in the first place, let's be honest. But, we can talk about that another time. So let's get straight into the review, man, and let's start with this, mate. Like, the Viking clap was loud. It almost, we've got speakers here. It almost, tore the speakers to shred. It was that loud, and it was unreal. And James Hooper even said it's got a semi-final feel about it, and it did. It was unreal. My talk about culture, I'm sure I didn't have anything to do with it, but I'm very pleased with the result. And my, talks about culture and stuff and how I want to be, it's that. Maybe not every week. I understand, Thursday nights are a bit tough to get to. I understand, Sunday evenings, you probably got better, or Sunday afternoons, probably got better things to do, especially if it's a scorcher, like I'm pretty sure it was that day against on Saturday. I'm pretty sure in Canberra. I'm pretty sure they said it was stinking hot, but I don't know. I don't live there, so I couldn't tell you. But yeah, one thing I found friggin' hilarious, Big Red gave this bloke a spear. He just came running in and he just crashed into him. And I was like, oh, that might get put on report. Didn't. It was a great tackle from Horsburgh. 2 minutes in, and it reminded me of Edge from WWE. Like, he just came in and took him out. It was the best thing I've ever seen. And in this game, he reminded me of the Terminator. I don't know what I meant by that, but I wrote it down on my notes. I was pretty hungover at the time, so that could have been the catalyst of it. But I was watching. I was like, mate, he's just tough. He just goes, mate. He's just the Terminator. Matty Nicholson in debut got a double. He got 2 tries on debut in the first half. So very good game from Nicholson. He's going to be the next great Raider. I said it on Friday. I'll say it again. He's going to be absolutely brilliant for us. Obviously, we've got Smithies as well. So the Poms are in full force. So I'm very excited for the future of those 2 blokes. For us, hopefully. Hopefully they don't leave. We forced a lot of errors in this game. I should have the stats, but I don't think I do. I'm going to grab it now, just so I have them. Forced errors. Sorry, I got organised with everything else, but the one thing I definitely wanted to talk about, I forgot to grab. So that's my bad. It's always the little things, isn't it? Papali'i played a great game as well. I thought he was incredible. He got himself a try, a very good try too, right under the post. Made things very easy for Jamal Fogarty. Mate, he played really well. Mate, he looks very, very fit as well. Like, mate, but there's just like game 1, there was not a bad play. This game, there was a little bit of a separation between a lot of players and then a few players that sort of struggled at the back. Don't know what the word is I was trying to look for, but they were sort of struggling at the back. That'll do. They were just a bit behind the pace of the rest of the boys. So, but Papa was not one of them. He was brilliant. About 20 minutes in, Tom Starling, my boy, gave Arthurs the business with a huge tackle, and it got me on my feet. I was loving it, and I was hungover too, and I was on my feet over it. So that was brilliant. I said it in the preview. I'll say it again. We got to watch the edges. We got to do it, especially against a team like the Broncos with Arthurs and Cobo on the wings. It really hurt us, and it really came close. About 2 minutes left in the game, I was really concerned. And I even wrote faders in my notes in front of me. I wrote faders down at least 3 times. I counted 3, but there could be more in there that I'd scribbled in with the rest of the stuff. So watching the edges is definitely something we've got to do more often, and we've got to use the edges more often. So swings and roundabouts. But most importantly, watch the edges. I said it so many times on Friday, and I'll say it many, many more. Watch the bloody edges. And who have we got this week? Manly. Oh, yeah. Watch the edges. But we'll get into Manly on Friday. Stay tuned for that. We looked fast and strong. We're the bad and mean green machine. Fast and strong, we're bad and mean. Isn't that the lyrics? Something like that. Should know, but I don't. It was a bloody physical game, and we just looked up to it. We were fast, strong, bad and mean. All the stuff that comes with being part of the green machine. Oh, that was so sick. No, it wasn't. But yeah, it was bloody physical. Everyone was probably sore on Sunday and yesterday. Hopefully Sticky gave them the day off yesterday because bloody hell, they were running into everything. So bloody, some of the blokes look like, some of our players look like Mack trucks out there. It was unreal. We earned everything, and our work rate was unbelievable. We definitely earned this win. We definitely deserved the win, more importantly. And it was a Reece Walsh disaster class. I wish I had his stats available on me as well. But he just played like crap. He was fumbling everything. We were in his head. I don't know if that was us as in the players or us as in the crowd. I don't know if it was a mix of both. I don't know if we were just getting under his skin. Joe Tarpany wasn't out there, so he didn't have to watch his back or anything. Who remembers that tackle? It was late in the game. It would have been last year or the year before, and Tarpany just cleaned him up. They had the win all sorted. I'm pretty sure it was in Brisbane too, and Tarpany just cleaned him up. It was the greatest thing. I don't like Reece Walsh at all. Some of it, I think most of it comes from him being a Maroon. So, mate, sucked in Reece Walsh. He's good for the game, though, let's be honest. But, you know, if I was a Broncos, podcast to talk more about that, but I don't really want to, so I won't. Hot Tamale. Sevilo Tamale is a beast. I'm glad he's a Raider. He's unreal. Thank you, St. George Illawarra. Mate, he's so good. He's just unreal. And he's going to be a real good star for us this year. I'm calling it. He is going to be unbelievable. Now, this game was also our biggest home opener since 1999. 26 years ago, I wasn't even born. I was not born. 1999 was, what, 4 years before I was born? So there you go. Do you feel old, or do you, I don't know, 18,884 people, almost 19,000 people made the trek to Canberra Stadium and put up with a really bad stench. So they tell me, but we'll get into that later as well. And, like I said earlier, mate, this is what I want from the Canberra Raiders fans especially. This is the culture we need. We need at least 17,000 people there every week. You know, we are a very tight-knit fan base, but we get loud and proud, and I'm very, very happy with the efforts the fans made on Saturday. I feel that made me sound like I was really corporate Raiders business on the board, man. I'm not. I was just really proud with the efforts of the fans and how loud they got. Like, I wish I was there. I really do. I think about it. I've thought about it a lot since Saturday night. I wish I was there. It would have been so good to be at, and obviously I can't. I'm in another state. I'm not even in New South Wales, so I need to get back to Canberra though. I need to get back to Canberra just to watch the Raiders. I'll go back for a weekend, see if I care. And one thing I noticed during the game, Hudson Young's got some pipes on him. I don't know what took me so long to realise this, but they showed a real close-up of Hudson Young at one point, and he was like pointing. He's got guns on him, man. He's got some pipes. He looks fit. He looks healthy. He looks ready to go. What a bloke. What a man. He's a he's a Canberra Raider. And I'm pretty sure before the game, they showed something before the game. They were doing like a pre-game interview or something, and in his locker was, you're going to have to bear with me here because I can see his face. I can't think of his name for some reason. Mate, this is bad. I should know this. God, and I call myself a Canberra Raiders fan. Give me a minute. This is bad. This is really bad. In his locker was Bradley Clyde. There it is, Bradley Clyde. In his locker, I don't know if you know, I'm sure you do. Every player has like an old player in their locker. Just one of those things. I think it's brilliant for team culture and stuff like that. I'm talking a lot about culture recently. I don't know what's going on here. I promise on Friday I won't say culture. I won't say the C word, and that will be the last time I say it. But in his locker was Bradley Clyde, and I was like, mate, yeah, that's so sick. Mate, Hudson Young having Bradley Clyde in his locker is one of the coolest things I've seen as a Canberra Raiders fan, and I've seen a grand final loss. So I was also thinking the other day, and it's a very random thing, or it was today actually, earlier today, on sports bets, I think it was sports bets TikTok account, and they were talking about whether they'd rather win a Clive Churchill or a Dally M. And then at the very end, the bloke said, what if it's on the losing team? What if you win the Clive Churchill on the losing team? And it made me think, I wonder how Jack Whiten feels about that. Because I'd hate it. You don't see it very often. In the AFL, you kind of have seen it a lot. You kind of do see it a little bit in the NRL, but I think it's stupid. I think the player of the Clive Churchill medal should always go to the winning team. I don't care if a bloke has 4 tries. I don't care if he has 68 tackles. I don't care if he has 19 offloads. I don't care if it's a history-defining performance. If you're not on the winning team, you shouldn't win the Clive Churchill. Honestly, let's be honest here. That is, I don't know how that happens. It just doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, with left, I was actually like on the edge of my seat. I was really nervous because Arthur's got on over the line in that 76th minute, I think it was, and I was really worried. And I'm glad we pulled it off because honestly, that was bad. So try scorers: Matty Nicholson at 7 minutes, Josh Papali'i 16 minutes, Nicholson again for his double at 37, then Starlo at 46, Tomoko at 50, and Tamale at 58, and Fogarty making 4 of his 6 conversions. We would have won by more. It would have been 36-22 if he made his conversions. But, you know, it's the way it is. Win's a win. They don't ask how, they ask how many. So fair enough. And then Broncos try scorers, Arthur's at 25 and 33, Colwell at 64, and then Arthur's again for his hat trick at the 77th minute, which really had me very concerned. I was not okay in those last 2 minutes, but huge win for the Raiders. Some stats. 52% possession for the Raiders, 79% completion rate. Need to up that a little bit. 187 runs, 1,609 meters, and 657 of those post-contact. 7 line breaks, 44 tackle breaks, 7 offloads, 84.86% tackle efficiency, 325 tackles. Not bad. 1 intercept, 10 errors compared to their 14. Need to tighten up. A lot of those probably would have been late in the game because it felt like in those last 10 minutes or so, like it sort of flipped a little bit, and they looked like they were in the lead for most of the game. So I don't know. And the big thing of this whole game, the best part about it, apart from winning, of course, 0 players were put on report. We got off 0 on report compared to their 1. I don't know how he went at the judiciary. I might have to. I'll actually have a look at that. That'll be pretty easy to see. Bear with me here. I'm actually very curious, and I probably should have looked at this again. Let's have a look. Knights, Rabbitohs, Roosters. Broncos pair, Corey Pakes and Kobe Hetherington have entered early guilty pleas to their charges and accepted fines. Pakes has been fined $1,000 and Hetherington $3,000. So both got fines, no suspensions for them. So Hetherington was the dangerous throw. Sorry, Hetherington was the crusher and Pakes was the dangerous throw. So there you go. There was 2 on report, apparently. Or 1 was on report. I think 1 just got given the thing. Anyway, yeah, so fair enough. And a new little segment here I want to show. Give me 1 second. The milkman, player of the game, Corey Horsburgh. Wouldn't be anyone else, let's be honest here. Horse had an absolutely unreal game for the Canberra Raiders. 132 meters on here. It says 127. It's been updated since the game, obviously. 132 meters, 59 of which were post-contact. He had a try assist, 2 tackle breaks, 15 hit-ups, 2 offloads, 92.31 tackle efficiency, 24 made, 1 miss, and 1 ineffective tackle. He played unreal. He was bloody everywhere. Like I said, the Terminator. I'm going to start calling him the Terminator. I want that to sort of carry on a bit. He looks so fit. He looks so healthy. He looks unreal this year, and I'm glad him and Sticky have hashed out their issues because, mate, he's just a gun. He's going to play for the Maroons this year. That should be blatantly obvious. So yeah, it's a shame, really. I wish it was a New South Welshman, but he's not. So I'm just gonna have to get over it, and hopefully he plays well in State of Origin. I don't know if anyone else does it. Does anyone else like support the Raiders? Like when in the eight in a row days were going on for Queensland, I was pulling for Josh Papali'i. Like as a kid, I was like, man, I hope Joshy gets over the line. I hope he scores. If anyone scores, if anyone's going to get the game winner, I hope it's Josh Papali'i. Anyone else? Just me? Maybe I am club first over state. Maybe it's because I don't live in New South Wales or Canberra or Queensland to really pull for my state, because I don't know. Maybe it is just me. If you do the same, let me know in the comments. I'm pretty sure there's comment sections on all of the above, on all of the streaming platforms and all that sort of stuff. If there is, let me know. Do you pull for Raiders in State of Origin time? Because I do. Anyway, that's the Milkman Player of the Game, and we're going to the Milkman Player of the Game, to the Milk Bar. There's a few things we need to talk about, a few very important things we need to talk about here. And first and foremost, the most important thing, my man Zach Hosking is out for 4 to 6 weeks with a broken hand. He's having surgery on it, or has had surgery on it, or is in surgery with the broken hand. I don't know what is going on there. I don't know where we're at with it, but he's out 4 to 6 weeks, and it's a huge loss for the Canberra Raiders. The old mate just cannot catch a break, and really is a shame. He's an absolute gun, and second year in a row he's had a bad injury. I don't know prior to that. I don't know his history before he's come to the Raiders. But that's 2 years in a row he's missed a chunk of time with an injury. So hoping he's all right. Hopefully he can get back to it as quickly as possible. Hopefully it's more on the 4 side than the 6 side, but he will be missed. And Tarpany's not even back yet, and we've already got a big man out. So it's a huge loss for the Canberra Raiders. Yesterday, what happens in Vegas clearly does not stay in Vegas. The NRL issued a breach notice to Hudson Young and Morgan Smithies after their Vegas scuffle with the inflatable bat. So I'm not going to go too much into the whole, pulling the rug out. We'll go with that. I'm not going to get into that. But it is a little bit dodgy. I mean, it's coming on 3 weeks ago now. I don't know what their thinking is. I don't know what's going on here. I'm not one to be a conspiracy theorist. But it is a bit dodgy, let's be honest. Why now? It's all a bit convenient, isn't it? It all almost doesn't make sense as to why it's taken this long for them to punish the Raiders over it. No, obviously, it's just a breach notice. It's not like, I don't know how breach notices work, honestly. I hope it's not a suspension and it's just a fine. Because that could be bad. But if it is just a fine, take the slap on the wrist and move on, boys. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, they said. I'll believe that when I see it. Bin Pong. The stadium. Another smell has arisen from the stadium, and more stadium talks have come from it. More, we need a new stadium. Michael Maguire even came out and said, I'm a Canberra boy. We want to see a new stadium. We'll get into that in a second. I'll read all of that stuff out in a minute. But a bin caused stadium stench. A spokesperson, I don't know what that means. It just said a spokesperson said I'll get rid of this so you can see the bottom of it. In this instance, there was an unemptied rubbish bin in another room that was identified as the source of a smell. Staff will ensure bins are serviced more frequently in the future. That's gross. Have you ever smelt an unemptied bin? Do you know what goes in bins? It's disgusting. It stinks. Oh my God. You walk past a bin on the street on bin day and it friggin' reeks. Imagine it trapped in a room. Imagine, that's horrible. Was it anyone that went to the game? Let me know. Was it that bad? Like, was it really bad? And if it's in a room, would it have been near the rooms, like the sheds? That's gross. Don Ferner, I don't have the quote here, so I'll read it out to you. Don Ferner on the recurring smells at Canberra Stadium. That's what you get with a 50-year-old stadium. It should be better than that. We have a team coming from Brisbane, and they're right next to it. Honestly, I'm sick of talking about the stadium. It's embarrassing that that's what we get, and it is. Michael Maguire also had something to say. Ex-Raider, he's assistant coach for a little bit. He said, obviously, I've spent a bit of time here, and being a Canberra boy, we'd love to see a new stadium. Wouldn't we? It's just a shit stadium. GIO, Canberra Stadium, whatever you want to talk about, or whatever you want to call it, Bruce, whatever. It's so bad. And I've said it before, like 2021, I was there. It was bad then. I can only imagine what it's like now. And the only renovations they've done to it, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, the only renovations they've done to it since I was there last is painting murals on the inside of the stadium to make it look pretty for the cameras. Yeah, great. Yeah, that's riveting stuff. Thanks, Canberra government. Do something about it. Like they're doing all this stuff to make sure the AFL sticks around in Canberra, playing at Manuka, which I'm pretty sure is a decent stadium. I haven't been there. I couldn't tell you. It looks all right. Again, I don't really watch Giants games or anything like that. I only watch like Hawthorn games, so I couldn't tell you what it's like at Manuka. I'd only be able to tell you what it's like on TV. But it looks okay. It looks better than Canberra Stadium, that's for sure. And Giants play like once or twice a year in Canberra. How many times are the Raiders playing there? Like at least 15, maybe more, probably more. 17 games a year in Canberra, and we still can't get a stadium. Like, what's going on? I'm actually sick of it. It's a joke. It really is, and I'm over talking about it. And I've only had this this is week 2 of the podcast now. Week 3, sorry. This is week 3 of the podcast now. I'm over it. Let's just get a stadium, shall we? Like it's actually just annoying now. Can we just do something about it, please? Thank you. Let's move on. Canberra's hottest topic. It's just. Anyway, Xavier Savage comes back this week. Yes, can't wait. He's been on the sideline for a week. He comes back at a much-needed time against the Manly Seagulls, and Tarpany again will be missed this weekend. Obviously, we'll get more into that on Friday's episode on the preview show on Friday, and it's going to be good. Xavier Savage is going to be much needed in this game. We need that electric spark that he gives our back line, especially, but the team in itself. Like, he's just the quickest man alive, and I can't wait to see him come back this weekend. That's huge. Now, Sticky the Smart Aleck. In reference to the new referee slam rule, is what I called it. He said, and I quote, Andrew Abdo saved me tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars making this rule. I wish he'd bought in the rule in 2002. And, mate, if he complies, I mean, his pockets are going to be a little bit heavier this year, and I doubt he will. I'm sure at some point we're going to get absolutely flogged by the refs. We're going to lose by a conversion, and he's going to start talking about the refs again. And, mate, honestly, I like it when he does that. Honestly, he says what we're all thinking. No one else likes him. No other fan outside of Canberra likes him. Excuse me, I keep frigging touching my nose. No fan outside. Everyone calls him the whinger. Everyone says we're the Canberra whingers and all that sort of stuff. But honestly, if us are whingers, complaining about hasn't gone our way, stuff it, mate. I'm a crybaby. So hopefully he can keep his pockets heavier, and hopefully he can buy the boys a few more beers this year. But go over to Mooseheads, have a good time, Sticky. Is Moosehead still a thing? Take him to the Science Museum, where all the dinosaurs and stuff was. All the dinosaurs and stuff are. Sorry. Take him there. Have a great time, Sticky, with your saved money, your tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars. Take the boys out. Have a good time. Go to the Science Museum, Sticky. Have a good one. And last but not least, Corey Horsburgh is currently sitting at 4th in the Dally M medal leaderboard. You heard that right. Is he a chance for the Dally M? I mean, you look at the players above him, right? I think Kalen Ponga might be his competition here. I'll get rid of this so you can see. There you go. Terrell May and Pappenhausen down the bottom there. Terrell May's had a great year, just quietly. He's been very good this year for the Tigers. He's where was he before? The Roosters, I think. Didn't get a chance really and gone over the Tigers, and his bloody rat's tail just flops around everywhere. It's a really good watch. If you haven't watched the Tigers game this year, I really recommend just to watch Tyler May's. Is that his name, Tyler May? That can't be right. Just to watch May's rat's tail flop around. It's a really entertaining watch. He has a lot of the ball, so you definitely won't miss him. But yeah, Corey Horsburgh sitting at 4th, and is he a chance for the Dally M? And last time I said someone was a chance for the Dally M, he was very quiet. And that was Payne Haas against us on Friday. I said he might be a chance for the Dally M. But I guess not. So that's it there. That's Corey Horsburgh, potential Dally M medalist. Keep an eye on that. I will keep an eye on that in the future. Now, I've got a new segment here, brand new segment, calling it Flog Positivity. Now, we will love Corey Parker. We will love him. Not. So I'm just going to keep up to date with any positive things he may say about the Canberra Raiders. And we've got our first inclusion here. He said something positive about the Canberra Raiders, and I can't believe it as much as probably you, and I definitely didn't have it on my bingo card. This is what he had to say. The mighty Raiders were outstanding. Absolutely, thoroughly deserved their victory. They looked hungry. They looked like they wanted it more. And more importantly, they played a basic game of rugby league far more superior than what the Brisbane Broncos did. So congratulations to all the Raiders fans. They come for me on socials. I must be one of them because this is about him and I'm giving it to him now. So Corey, g'day, mate. Thanks for the positivity, but you're still a flog. And that will do it for today's episode of the Milkman podcast. Huge weekend that we just left behind. Obviously, huge win over the Broncos, 32-22. I still can't believe it. My tipping was absolutely atrocious. We'll have a look at that here. Just a quiet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 3. Takes my record on the year to 7 and 4. yeah, I tipped against the Raiders, and I'm going to continue to do so if we keep doing that. So that'll do it for real now. Hopefully you all enjoyed. It's going to be a good week. I feel it already. Obviously, Hosking being injured doesn't help. But Manly this weekend. So stay tuned. Tomorrow, Milkman Tips, new episode coming out on Instagram and right here on YouTube Reels. Yeah. And as always, up the milk.